The Russian military, before the Ukraine war, was very disappointed with the numbers on paper, unlikely to have the same effect on the battlefield. Since then, Russian tanks have been targeted by the Ukrainian armed forces. The first day of the war inflicted a great loss. In particular, Western shoulder-fired anti-tank missiles are the biggest killer for Russian tanks. Despite the optimistic assessments of the country's leaders, nearly 7 months after the invasion of Ukraine, after a series of setbacks, a military analyst says they are concerned about the ineffective functioning of the Russian armed forces. Analysts believe that Russia soon put its best soldiers into the meat grinder in the war against Ukraine. Kiev claims to have recaptured large swathes of the northeastern part of the country since early September. Those claims were also confirmed by Mr. Zelensky's visit earlier this week. The British Ministry of Defense reported that Russian troops, including the Army's first bodyguard tank, fled the Kharkiv area in the face of an onslaught from Ukraine. This caused another major disappointment for Putin, as even his most trusted tank regiments were fleeing the region. The huge vacancies your army has in many of these units does not represent what we mean by military professionalism. In the early weeks of the war, as the retreating Russian forces adjusted their best troops and sent out a series of essentially suicide missions, they skimmed the crop, threw it into the meat grinder, and now all that was left was that they too had run from the front lines. Despite everything, Russian tanks were left to strengthen Ukraine's armed forces and wreak havoc on Putin's army.